So what the post-licensing course is designed to be is the companion to pre-licensing. But in the sense that the laws and rules that you're learning in pre-licensing aren't going to be enough to build a successful real estate business. So your pre-licensing that you take to get your real estate license, the big focus of pre-licensing is passing your exams. Your class exam as well as your state exam. There's 2 exams you got to pass to get your real estate license in Florida. And what these exams are, they're based on a lot of information regarding laws, rules, and basic principles and practices. Information that's important for you to know to make sure you don't get yourself in trouble or do anything illegal. But ultimately, this information is not what's going to help you build a multi-million-dollar real estate business. You might even be confused how you even do your first transaction. You likely will be. That's completely normal with just the information you're learning in pre-licensing. And the Florida Real Estate Commission doesn't expect you to operate just off of that. However, what they did, because these actually used to be, so the story goes that these used to be pre-licensing and post-licensing one course. But the Florida Real Estate Commission is a lot less concerned with what you learn about in post-licensing. And I could prove that to you. There's no state exam. If that doesn't say this isn't as important to the Florida Real Estate Commission, being that there's no state exam. Now, there will be an end-of-course exam. So there is an exam you have to take at the end of the course to prove that you did actually complete the course. We actually even have an online course that's broken up into 3 mini courses where you just take 3 mini exams at the end of each 15-hour segment. Because this is a 45-hour requirement for your sales associate post-licensing. So with this, there's no state exam. So the Florida Real Estate Commission wasn't as concerned with people needing to know all these topics. So what they did is they broke this off and they made this a secondary requirement that only becomes a requirement once you obtain your real estate license. So if you never get your real estate license, it doesn't matter how you make money with the real estate license until you actually have the real estate license. But then once you have the license, that's where this requirement comes in. Now this is due by your renewal date. But I would say that at the latest, at the very latest, you're doing that at your renewal date. Because you will lose your license if you do not have this done by the renewal date. But you'll lose a lot of business if you don't have this done as soon as possible. Say that again. You'll lose your real estate license if you do not have post-licensing done by your renewal date. However, you're going to lose even more business if you don't have your post-licensing done as soon as possible. Because what post-licensing will help you do is identify opportunities. Because the opportunities are all around you. You might not know how to pull them out though. Or you might not know how to spot them. Or you might not know how to make it make sense for this person where it is an opportunity as opposed to somebody who believes they can't do something. They can't buy, they can't sell, whatever their disbelief is. So your post-licensing course, it's not going to teach you everything you need to know about real estate. You'll never know. If you need to know everything there is to know about real estate to be experienced, then I'm still new to real estate because there's a lot of stuff that I don't know. And every day as I learn more, I realize there's even more that I don't know. As I learn more, that's the crazy part of this here. And so as you start to get more confident in real estate, it's because you start to realize that, okay, these things I do know well, but I do know there's a lot of stuff that I'm not going to know, that I'm not going to be the expert on, that I might have to go find further information on or get in touch with the right person for. It could be an appraiser, an inspector, a lender, all these different parties to the transaction. Post-licensing is there to help teach you about your role in this whole process, in the whole sales process. What is it that the real estate agent actually does? How does that real estate agent get the business in the first place? How does it work working for yourself? You might say, well, John, I thought we were working for a broker. Well, yeah, you have to register with a broker, but you're still typically an independent contractor with pretty much every brokerage. And as an independent contractor, even though you're part of the brokerage, it's up to you to how much business it is you want to do. It's up to you to run your business as you deem fit and appropriate. within the parameters allowed by your brokerage. Your post-licensing is teaching you about that role that you have to play and what your role in the transactions are. From initially just business planning. That's one of the first things that you're doing in post-licensing is you start off doing business planning. Figuring out how much money you need to make, how much money you want to make, and then how does that translate to how many houses you need to sell? And how does that translate to how many contracts you need to have, and how many appointments you need to have, and how many leads you need to have? And then where are you getting these leads from? Because if you don't answer these questions, you're just winging it through real estate. And that's not how you build a successful business. That's how you maybe get lucky. But if you're not getting into real estate to just maybe get lucky and hope some business just falls on your lap and you know exactly what to do with it, you'll want to take your post-licensing as soon as possible. Because again, if you don't have it done by your renewal, you'll lose your license. But if you don't do it as soon as possible, you'll lose out on a lot of potential business. Because you just simply might not even know how. That's the number one thing we hear from people when they pass their exam is, okay, great, I passed my exam. I'm really excited to get going, but I don't even know where to begin. I don't even know where to start. I need to go find a brokerage with great training. And yes, that's going to be important that you get a brokerage with great training as a new agent. However, before you start even getting into that training, I would take your post-licensing if you can. Because your post-licensing course will cover, again, a lot of those fundamentals. It's designed to be taught to people who just completed the pre-licensing. And that's why I said the longer you wait, the more this becomes remedial. Now, I guarantee you, no matter how experienced, I know that I could go and take this post-licensing class, and I've taught it before. And I could go take this post-licensing class, and sitting there as the perspective of the student, I would take things away and really learn things going through this. And I guarantee every single one of you can pull out some detail from that post-licensing course that's going to benefit your real estate business regardless of where you're at. However, who it's going to benefit the most, where it'll feel almost like a fire hose of information of, oh my God, what is all this information? I wish I was learning this in pre-licensing. Why didn't they teach? Why didn't they ask about this on the exam? This stuff is interesting. This is fun. This is about making money. This is about selling real estate. That's what post-licensing is about. And it's written in the sense to where it's designed to speak to the person who's at the level of just completing pre-licensing. So rather than, finishing the 101 course and then going to try to take the most advanced training ever that your brokerage offers and skipping all those in-betweens there, the post-licensing is there to give you a really good, strong foundation, whichever brokerage it is that you join. And some brokerages even have programs where their courses can count towards continuing education and so on and so forth, which again, make sure that if you want to verify any hours you might have to see if it does actually count, you go to tsre.us/verify and you'll be able to see again how you verify those hours in the DBPR portal. But again, getting back to this here, this is designed to be the super fundamental, super basic, foundational things to regardless of which brokerage you go to. The information you're learning in the post-licensing curriculum that we have here at the Tampa School of Real Estate, whether you're doing our online classroom or live stream courses, will benefit you at any brokerage it is that you join. Because there's so much of this stuff that is stuff, honestly, that I believe should be taught in pre-licensing. However, the disagreement between me and the Florida Real Estate Commission on this is the stuff that's in here, they don't prioritize as the primary information. They don't even let you have the opportunity to learn this information or learn it to count for credit until you've demonstrated that you know the things like the contracts need to be in writing and signed and that we've got to disclose material defects and an acre is 43,560 square feet. So for whatever reason, we could talk about that and discuss that, but it's not really important why the Florida Real Estate Commission makes that the most important topics. The laws, keeping people safe, it's all that type of thing. But when it comes to actually making money, that's what post-licensing is all about. And again, it starts with just business planning of how you make that money. And when you're interviewing with a real estate broker, when you're trying to find the real estate broker it is that you want to join, and remember, if you guys are new to this, if you haven't already got your license yet, once you do your application with the state of Florida, there'll be numerous brokers trying to recruit you. Just when you've done your application, before you even passed your exam, they're trying to get way ahead of the game and show you the opportunities that they have. And they want to get in early and get you sold on their model early, because if everything makes sense, then you have those next steps that you could take. But then how do you know whether or not that was the right model for you when you are so brand new, especially when you haven't done the actual business course of real estate, which is your sales associate post licensing. And maybe you go through this and you're like, oh wow, this is what I really need from a broker. Why did I say I wanted to join this broker? That's not going to be a good fit for me at all. And once you, again, have those basics figured out of how you want to make money, what it is you're going to do in business, and you're really taking inventory of what it is that you bring to the table and what it is that you need a broker to bring to the table, it'll become a lot more clear of which brokerage is going to be the right fit for you. So this is something that I would plot a path on, and I would plan on this. We actually have some really great bundle packages. If you guys have not taken your pre-licensing course yet, we have this course packaged with our pre-licensing course. You could actually, we bundle it. It's got some great bundle savings, so you pay one lower price, and that includes this course, our study tools, our pre-licensing. We call that our complete jumpstart package because that's what it's designed to be. Not just to get you through the licensing, but now get you on the road to success in making money. And again, this is a requirement that you have to get done, but you don't want to wait till your renewal date because you'll miss out on a lot of business from not being able to seize the opportunities that you'll learn more about in post-licensing. And it sets you up, when you do this right from the beginning, to have a lot of momentum of how you could grow your real estate business further. Because when you treat it like a business from day one, when you treat your real estate business like a business on day one, and you don't treat it like a job, because I didn't even like that word job. Because you say job and there's always some sort of negative connotation with it almost. And so if you treat this business like a job that you don't want, a job that you hate, a job that you wish you didn't have to be at, it's not going to treat you good. But if you treat this business like a business and you run it like a business and you structure it like a business from the very beginning, it becomes much more rewarding, much faster. Where you're not on a roller coaster of am I going to get paid or is this going to be a bad month for me, but where you're actually structuring and building a pipeline from day one. How do you do that? Well, you got to know how to do that first. And yes, your broker is going to have training. But regardless of what training your brokerage offers, it will always benefit you to have this post-licensing done beforehand because, again, this is designed to speak to people who have just came out of pre-licensing. Someone who's a broker, they've got to have at least 2 years of experience as well as additional courses before they can become a broker themselves. And you go 2 weeks in real estate and you're going to be significantly ahead of somebody who is brand new to real estate. You'll be talking faster and maybe running circles around them where you might not be able to keep up. Imagine with somebody who's got years more of experience. Trust me, one of the things that is the most difficult in education, and this is why it's our number one core value at Tampa School of Real Estate, is to keep it simple. That's one of the most difficult things in education because anybody can make something complicated. It's very easy to make something more complicated, but that doesn't solve the problem. We got to make things easier. We got to keep things simple. And that's what our post-licensing is designed to do, to get down to simple, get down to the basics. What are the need-to-know things so you could overall simplify everything in your real estate business. But going back to the trainer, to the instructor, to the people teaching these classes, this could be a friend or family member or somebody who's very experienced in real estate, and they might say, hey, I'm going to help you. But then what time do they have to help you? Because if they really are good at real estate, then how do they have time for you? Because aren't they really busy with their business? So that's usually the first problem with highly productive people in real estate, is they usually don't have time to help out somebody who's brand new. And then the second problem, maybe they do have the time, but do they have the ability not just to sell, not just to be great as a realtor, but to actually teach that information in a way that'll make sense to you? I mean, have you ever had somebody who's been great at something and they're just not very good at teaching it? It happens all the time. We know that here at Tampa School of Real Estate. We do quite a bit to vet our instructors, and it doesn't matter just that you know how to sell real estate. You got to know how to teach real estate. You got to know how to teach. And if you could sell real estate and you know how to teach, maybe those two could go hand in hand. We're hiring for instructors right now. Check out flinstructor.com if you're interested in a career with Tampa School of Real Estate. But getting back to this here, again, our instructors, they're trained, and our curriculum is designed for this post-licensing course again, to be speaking to somebody who just graduated post-licensing. We know you know just the basics and just the information that's in pre-licensing because we're teaching that course as well. So we know what you know and we know what you don't know. And so we know, again, how to make this easier transition. And the sooner it is you do this, the easier it is to get this knocked out. The more time it is that you wait here, the more difficult this course becomes. Because if you do manage to get your real estate business up and running without doing this post-licensing course, it's possible. Again, this isn't necessarily required by law until right before your renewal deadline, which could be as far as about 18 months to 2 years out. And if that's when you're doing your post-licensing and you've managed to get your business going, how are you going to have time to do this week-long post-licensing course? Because our fastest format is Monday through Friday, all day, 9 to like 4:30 or something like that. But basically all day for a week to get this post-licensing course done. We have live stream as well as classroom courses. If you guys have your post-licensing coming up, we have a deadline coming up in just a couple of weeks here. So if you need post-licensing, check out postflorida.com. We've got classroom and live stream as well as on-demand interactive self-paced courses. But the thing is, if you manage to make it to 2 years into real estate, it's probably not because you haven't figured it out yet. Because if you don't make any money with this your first year, you're probably not going to go into your second year. But let's say you do manage to make some money and you get your business going. You're going to be in one of two situations. You're either going to be in a situation where you're too busy to do your post-licensing. So if you're really that good, you're just going to be too busy to do it. Or the other situation, if you do have time to actually do this, it's because you're not busy. And why are you not busy? Well, maybe taking this post-licensing sooner. And I'll be honest with you, this was not actually the course that gave me the epiphany that turned my real estate career around. Because when I started in real estate, I did not take post-licensing right away. No, I tried and failed for probably about 3 or 4 months before some sales trainer came to the office and gave this little pitch, and it was a great presentation. I was like, okay, sign me up. I already maxed out my credit cards, and so I had to go on like a payment plan to it was like $1,200 for this like 90-day boot camp thing, and I learned so much information. And that's what really kind of got me to actually understand how to actually sell real estate, because really though, in hindsight, it was the first time someone had actually taught me what to do with my real estate license. And so eventually I got things started to figure out, $1,200 and a bunch of mistakes that I made before that later. But eventually, again, came around to do my post-licensing, and I didn't want to do my post-licensing right away. I was like, no, why do I need to do it right away when I could just wait? I don't want to take another exam. I don't want to have to go and all the excuses that you've probably heard other people say, or maybe you're thinking yourself, that was me. But eventually I had to get it done because I had kind of figured out real estate to a certain degree, and I didn't want to lose my license. So I was like, well, you know what? Let me get this post-licensing done. Let me try to knock this out. And it was a mad, panicked rush to get this finished. But there's one thing that I really realized, that the bigger epiphany for me was all that stuff that was so eye-opening and mind-blowing that I learned going through that advanced training was a lot of the same stuff that's covered in the post-licensing curriculum. And I was like, well, where was this course when I got my real estate license? And so now here I am on my soapbox today on a mission to help make sure people don't make that same mistake that I did. Because had I not taken that sales training class, had I not been able to do the payment plan and get that like $1,200 boot camp, whatever mastery thing it was that I'd signed up for, had I not done that, who knows if I ever would have figured out real estate. I might not be standing here in front of you today, but you don't need to go buy some big expensive sales training boot camp. Take post-licensing. This course is a couple $100. It meets your post-licensing requirement. It can be done in as quickly as a week. We also have evening classes as well. We have also the interactive online on-demand system that you can complete this with. But like I said, the big takeaway that I had from this wasn't just meeting the requirement. Was, wow, this is information that I wish I would have known there. And as fast I was going through it, I still managed to take away a thing or two from it. And I was like, okay, yep, okay, cool, that's neat. But had I done that right away from the beginning, it probably would have made way more sense. I would have made way less mistakes. I would have been much more prepared. I probably wouldn't even have joined the broker it is that I originally joined had I done this post-licensing course sooner rather than later. So I'm a living proof of why you should do this. And when you take this course, now, this isn't going to teach you everything in real estate. So don't come to me and say, John, I've only learned this, and this, and this, and this, and this. You said I was going to learn everything. No, you're not going to learn everything from this post-licensing course. However, it's going to teach you what you need to know right now. Because if you haven't done this post-licensing, that means you're still like within your first 2 years. And the information you're learning in this post-licensing course is essential to building a long-term business out of real estate. Again, if you want to actually build something that's sustainable, that's steady, that's predictable, that you could control the growth, that you could increase or scale back as you deem necessary and you deem fit. Maybe you're wanting to build a real estate team someday. Maybe you're wanting to start a real estate brokerage. Let's get that down on paper so we can start backtracking from where it is that you want to be to where it is that you are now, and what are the steps that are necessary to make that transition as quickly and efficiently as possible. That's part one of post-licensing. Then we're talking not about appraising properties, but pricing them to sell. And then now, how do we even have a listing to price a property to sell? Well, we talk about prospecting for listings and developing strategies. Again, turning this into a business. And a good business needs to have lead generation. Now, maybe your broker provides some leads to you. That's not enough to control your business. Because if your broker is the only source of leads that you have, you don't have control of your business in the sense of lead generation. So you want to develop a strategy to where, great, if your broker's got some leads to supplement your lead generation, that's fantastic. But you want to have all aspects of these business understood to a certain degree so that way you could run them. Because you need to run some lead generation efforts. You need to run some efforts to, again, convert these leads into sales. And so pricing a property to sell, if we overprice a property, we might get the listing, but we're not going to get a commission if the property doesn't sell. If we overprice it, especially in a market like we have today, that's a very important topic to know, is how do we have the discussion, have the communication about effectively pricing the property to sell. Because if we overprice, it might not even sell. Or if it does, it's going to sell at a lower price than if we priced it competitively right from the beginning. So look, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but when we come back, we're going to do a little bit more on this post-licensing course and how this can help you grow your real estate business. So stick with us. I'm John Chrismo. You're watching Ask the Instructor. Have you completed your post-licensing education yet? Look, I know you're probably thinking, hey, it's not my renewal deadline, I don't need to do post-licensing yet, but look, here's why you want to do post-licensing as soon as you've got your real estate license, as soon as you're able to take post-licensing. It's not just another course about arbitrary laws that you're never going to use again. It's about real-world, usable topics that'll help you grow your real estate business, to help you take it to the next level. Look, let me ask you this one question. If this course helps you close just one deal, if you get one extra deal from post-licensing, is it worth the investment? I'd say it is. We get paid pretty well, so one deal means a lot of money. Check out postflorida.com. That's postflorida.com for the full details about post-licensing. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Chrismo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time. If you guys like today's topic, make sure you hit that thumbs up button so we know which topics to do more videos on. And if you want to make sure you don't miss out on any of this info, hit that bell icon so you get notifications. Now, getting back into today's topic, and congrats to Sherry. What's going on, Mike? I was just looking in the comments while we're on break here. Sherry just got a real estate license, so yeah, definitely needs to get into the post-licensing. And you can do this as soon as you get your license. You go pass your exam, and as soon as that license is issued, you can begin earning the credits towards your post-licensing course. And that license is usually issued that same day, maybe next day if you're taking it like later in the day or on a weekend or something like that. But you could get started basically immediately in taking this post-licensing course. Now, if you're not doing the self-paced on-demand, the self-paced on-demand is a great fit if you really want to take your time to go through the information and absorb it, and you're the type of person that would want to read through stuff and research it further. That's what this on-demand self-paced format is really all about. But if you prefer an instructor to lead you through the material, more of the lecture-based type of format where you have an instructor leading a class, we have that both in-person and classroom formats as well as live streams. You could actually tune in from the comfort of the home, where literally we bring the classroom to you. And same great instructors that we have in the classroom on our live streaming platform. Matter of fact, our live streaming is some of our best instructors that we have because it's definitely more difficult to hold an effective class virtually versus when you have people in front of you. When you have people in front of you, let me tell you, it's a lot easier because I could hear when you laugh at my jokes or not, or I could tell, I could see your faces. And so if you don't already have that experience of being in front of students teaching this information, it's very easy to be lost on that. So whether you're in live stream or a classroom course, our instructors are the best in the state of Florida. And not just do you have your instructors in the classroom, but we've got an instructor support helpline. Whether you're taking one of our classroom, a live stream, or an on-demand course, you just call us up here at the school and we'll help you out. We'll help get you pointed in the right direction and help clear up whatever misunderstandings. Ultimately, look, we're here to help you guys achieve your dream real estate careers. And this post-licensing course is something that's going to help get you on that path. And this is a requirement. It's something you've got to take, so you've got to do it anyways. If you're committing to real estate, to be into real estate for at least 2 years, you're going to need to do this post-licensing course at some point. And there's a phrase I heard recently that really resonated with me. And if there's something that must be known eventually, it should be known immediately. If there's something that must be known eventually, it should be known immediately. Because when you know it immediately, you have way more time to prepare. And that's a good, it was actually in a completely different context. It wasn't at all about selling a post-licensing course here, but it does actually apply. What must be known eventually should be known immediately. And this is a really important concept to where if you're in negotiations or you're really any sort of sales, the sooner you know the information that you're going to find out eventually, the better it is you can be prepared rather than just finding out about it eventually. That's what this is all about with post-licensing. You don't want to find out about how to make money with your real estate license eventually. You want to figure that out as soon as you can. Your pre-licensing course is not designed to teach you that. It's designed to teach you the information you need to know to pass your real estate exam so you could actually legally make money with a real estate license, but you got to know how. Even if you've been in real estate before, maybe you haven't done real estate in Florida and there's a few things that are done differently, I would still get this knocked out because you're going to have to do it anyways. And what must be known eventually should be known immediately. Get this done as soon as you can. Get it over with. And that way you could go through and verify, and you've got plenty of time. If maybe there's some miscommunication with the reporting systems, the DBPR does not have the most up-to-date systems. They have been working on updating their stuff, and it's beginning to become a little bit more modern, but sometimes transmissions don't always go through. So that's why we always recommend you verify this to double check it, because we actually cannot at the school level. We can't go into your individual account like you can when you log into the DBPR website. And that's why we've got the screen recording for you to check out. So if you've already done any of these credits, definitely make sure you verify those to make sure they're reported. We do the reporting for you, and probably 99.9% of the time, don't quote me on that, but almost always, it happens flawlessly. But every now and then the DBPR gets a transmission they don't like, and here's the thing, they don't always tell us when they don't like it. And when they don't tell us about these problems, that's where the only way we can usually track these down are having you look into that. So always double check this, whatever school it is that you take that with, because that's the same thing for any provider of continuing education courses or anything like that. So whether it's something a title company offers for getting like 2 or 3 hours of continuing education, or something from the Association of Realtors, always double check what you have on there, because the Florida Real Estate Commission and the Department of Professional Regulation are not the most forgiving at all when it comes to these deadlines regarding your real estate license. Post-licensing, when I say you will lose your real estate license if you don't have it done by the deadline, you will immediately lose your real estate license permanently until you go through the process all over again. Meaning, go do your application, go do your fingerprints, go do your state exam, after having taken the course again, because the whole process, as if you never had it before, that's what happens when you don't do post-licensing by the deadline. Your license becomes null and void. So most people, if they want to stick around and don't lose their license, will figure out some way to get it done. But then again, you're rushing it. You're not taking away as much as you can. And this is something that's chock full of all kinds of ideas, strategies, processes, systems, ways to structure your real estate business that you'll want to know regardless of which brokerage it is that you join. And again, if you need to take your pre-licensing course to get your real estate license, we actually have our complete Jumpstart package that includes our pre-licensing, the post-licensing, as well as our exam prep study tools. You can find out more information about all of our courses, all of our packages, all of our bundles, all of our tools at tampaschool.com. But better yet, you can actually call us because we have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that they can to go over all the different options, the different opportunities that exist in real estate. Most of our staff here at Tampa School of Real Estate have real estate licenses themselves. So we're all very familiar with the real estate industry and how real estate works. So call us up and let us help you. Our phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. Or you can check us out again online at tampaschool.com. That's about all the time we have for today. So thank you guys again for tuning in. Remember, again, we'll be here on Friday, 12 noon Eastern time, every Friday and every Wednesday. If you're not yet subscribed, hit that little bell icon so you get notifications whenever it is that we go live, so you don't miss out on any of this information that we have. Every now and then we'll do a giveaway, and where you might be able to win some sort of product or a course or anything like that. But every single day we're on here, even if we're not giving away something tangible, we're giving away something that's much more valuable than that. Ideas and opportunities and information that can help make you millions of dollars in real estate when you put this information to use. There's so much money that you can make in real estate. Just to do some quick numbers here. Let's say you've got a $333,000 house. That's about an average price property in Hillsborough County. You do that at 3% commission. That's $10,000. Now, you probably have some sort of splits or fees or something like that with your broker, where your broker gets some portion of this $10,000. But if you sell one average price house at 3% commission and get a $10,000 gross commission, maybe you're walking home with like $7,000, $8,000, $9,000, depends on the agreement you have with your broker. But whether you're walking away with $6,000 or $10,000, it's a couple $100 to take this post-licensing course. And this post-licensing course gets you just one of those deals, just gets you one $10,000 commission check. Maybe it only helps you get like a rental or something like that that pays $500. You're still coming out ahead. And this isn't going to help you just do one deal. This is going to help you do many deals. This is going to set up the direction and trajectory of your real estate business going forward. So take advantage of the momentum that you have completing your pre-licensing, passing your exam, and get enrolled right away into a post-licensing course so that way you could build on this information you need to be legal, but actually now have info that you could use to build your real estate business and build it in a way that treats it like a business, so that way you have something that you're proud of, something bigger than you. Not a job that you hate, that you're bored with, but a business that helps make your ideal life possible. That's what real estate can do. That's the opportunity that's out there. Those results are not guaranteed by any means. Real estate is absolutely something where it is what you make of it. But you could usually make a lot more money. You could have a lot more opportunities through real estate. If you look at how most billionaires, millionaires have gained their wealth and how they have grown their wealth and how they hold their wealth, real estate is usually a huge portion of that puzzle. So again, any questions you guys have, if you want to learn more about what you can do with a real estate license, the opportunities that are out there, how to get started, what the process looks like, maybe you're curious about whether or not you could get a real estate license if you're eligible, whatever questions you have, we've got a ton of info on our website, but honestly, it's probably too much information. So call up the experts, let us help direct you and point you in the right direction. Again, that phone number is 813-333-2676. Again, 813-333-2676. It's about all the time we've got for today. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you on Friday for State of Real Estate. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate.
Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Chrisma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.